I would love to see Purdue and UConn, just for the simple fact that, of course, I covered Purdue, and Matt is a good friend. I love the NC State story.
Of course.
But from a pure matchup perspective, with two bigs playing against each other, which you don't really see, I mean, kind of bigs, guard play, coaching, very similar in how they attack and approach. I think it would be an epic kind of old school throwback a little bit with Purdue and UConn, but anything can happen in the Final Four, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Especially, I mean, and it's eerily similar to the North Carolina State run. I think they were 17-10 that year in '83 when they made their run through the tournament and ended up beating Houston that year.
Yep.
And you can't count Alabama out just because of the pace in which they play. The question is, are they going to be able to speed up UConn? Because UConn can play at so many different levels. And they control you by scoring, but also by dropping the ball inside, getting in the paint that kind of slows you down on what you want to do on the offensive end. But ideally, just to see those two bigs and those two programs play.
I can't stop thinking about their 30-0 run in the –
You can see that in the NBA, right?
In the Elite Eight game. I mean, runs happen in the NBA. But a team gets down 10,
not in
12.
College.
They're like, they'll fine. They'll be back
not
in
a
it.
30-0 run in college.
It's 23-23, 5-0 run to end the half, 25-0 run to start the second half. And all of a sudden it's 53-23, and you're like, well, this game's over.
And the difference, too, with like this UConn team, like last year, and then my boy Clark Keller uses the word, he used to use it all the time, spurtability. That last year team, boom, they hit you, and it's just like, next thing you know, you're down. This team, I found this year, grinds you down, and next thing you know, it's like possession, miss something. Come back, they take advantage of it. Yep. You miss something. And the next thing you know, it's a 10-point gap, 15-point. It's a different kind of way they beat you.
Yeah, you kind of look up and you're like, wow, we're down 15.
Exactly.
How did that happen?
How did that happen?
Yeah.
But I've never seen that in a college game where a coach didn't use the timeout to stop the run. Even if it was multiple times where they couldn't stop it the first time, they kind of wanted to take the crowd out of it when they felt it was coming on. But, man, it was spectacular by that UConn team. How about this? So, North Carolina State, Final Four, men's and women.
Yep.
And then UConn.
UConn men's and women. What would you what are the chances of one champion? Like, if I give you...
Like one.
If I give you a half championships for the over-under...
UConn.
Between the four, you'd take the over because you think the UConn men are going to win? It's happened, what we said 11 times or something?
So.
Where this
is it 11 times at the same time?
Not at the same time.
Okay.
It's just, not total. Two teams.
So you're asking me a singular or both teams?
It's happened 11 times where the men and women have each made the Final Four, but never twice in the same year. I'm saying of the four schools, half a championship over-under, you'd say over? You think one title among the four? Either UConn men or women win. Or NC State.
The odds, for those two favor a little bit more. Now, what's the odds that they both win it?
Ooh. I saw one for NC State men and women to both win. I saw 400-1 yesterday.
400-1?
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, the job that Gino Auriemma did this year with this squad, with 5 major players being injured, I mean, he put on a coaching clinic, and that's not taking anything away from his opponent, but just his mind and how he was able to negotiate and navigate through not having a deep roster and lineup to keep people out of foul trouble, to keep their opponent off balance, to be able to handle, I think, a young Juju Watkins, what she's going to learn. And this USA team USC was number 1 seed. They had players. But it was the experience, I think, of the bench for UConn and having a calming presence like a Paige Beckers at the helm.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. And if you didn't appreciate that kind of mental basketball in that game, men and women, it don't matter. That was on full display in that game there.
Yes, I wonder if Paige will be back next year.
She already said.
She's
coming back.
She's coming back.
Angel Reese announced that she's leaving.
She declared
she's
coming
going to
back.
the WNBA. We know Caitlin Clark's leaving. Juju Watkins has to be back. She's a freshman.
Freshman. But I can see Paige because
She is coming back?
100%.
Oh, good for her.
You know, the injuries
Yeah.
probably took away, and I can't speak for, but
Mike, I'm not going to lie. I got to look this up. I don't know if I trust you.
no,
I did the game where she announced.
I think she
I
did
did
say
the
she's
game.
coming
I-
back.
I worked the
Okay.
game.
Sorry, Mike. I don't like doubted you. Mike.
But if she does, you know, if that's the case, but I can understand it because you got to think about where she was at coming out of high school. This was like the phenom, the one that was going to take over and continue the legacy. Not that she hasn't, but injuries have taken away probably a little bit of that limelight.
You're right.
And
she is
probably
coming
some
back.
of those accomplishments. And staying another year with a full plethora, full lineup, despite no matter what happens this year, even if they win it, adds to her legacy in college, probably something that she thought about when she first came
Plus,
in.
if Angel's gone and Caitlin's gone and she takes UConn and wins,
Well, it's
changes.
UConn and Juju now. For
Oh,
next
Joe
year. I mean,
Juju.
the women's game is just, on
mean,
the
it's
trajectory. I
amazing.
don't know if you guys saw this. There was a tweet going around. Someone who covered women's sports said when Paige was in the 6th grade,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
like,
yeah.
hey, watch out for this girl, Paige Becker.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, she's going to be the truth.
You know what? When my son was younger, honestly, when my son was younger, when he's playing basketball, I would say, watch women play. He would say, why? I said fundamentally, they're more sound because they don't just rely on athleticism. Even though women have become they're much better athletes, just like men are in today's world. You can see it on the court. They're much different kind of players. Okay, but the fundamental stuff that I think men a lot of times take for granted, a little left-hand pass in the post, okay, a wide open jump shot that sometimes college men players have trouble making, women make it, the pull-up jump shot, the
extra
up and
pass.
under, head fakes, just those little fundamental things that makes women's game so beautiful to watch at times. My son, when he was younger, I said, yo, take a look. You'll figure out how to play the game the right way on a consistent basis, man. So this weekend should be great. I mean, I'm in Phoenix, so we usually Friday, Sunday, have a cigar. Go,
Or two.
and go watch,
Sure.
the games. It's going to be a great weekend of basketball.
Are you kidding me? It's
The
gonna be amazing.
women's is in Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Men's in do you think there'll be a time where they're at the same venue
They
and they
should
just
be.
make a big, long 4-day
they should.
weekend out of
How
it?
would that look? How would that work to be able to put both in the would you take one away from the other by doing that?
See, I've been
You know what I'm
thinking
saying?
about that
I
on
think it would be a
Monday,
big
and-
celebration. I mean,
cool.
you could still do it. Women on Friday and
Yeah.
Sunday, and the men on Saturday and Monday, and you could really make a blowout 4-day kind of college hoops extravaganza.
But where would you? There's only so many locations you can have that can accommodate from a hotel perspective.
That's true.
airport.
Hotels and
you
airports
gotta
and
think it
restaurants.
logistically.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a 70,000
Right.
seat stadium,
Sure.
and you're talking now, women may be at that point. You never know.
Yeah.
To bring that many fans, because if you got 12 million viewers,
Yeah.
now again, the Caitlyn effect has a lot to do with that. Who takes that banner and really draws like Caitlyn is going to be, and not that Juju is not going to be awesome, and Paige coming back is not going to be awesome, and some other women, but it's always an anomaly where it's a storyline where this one person has it that draws it. And no matter how good somebody else is, they can't draw as well as that person.
Right.
But that's an interesting theory if they
I thought
do
about
it in
that.
the same.
I thought that same thing on Monday. Like, what if they just did this all together? And to quote Trent from Swingers, there is one place, Vegas.
Vegas.
baby.
Oh, no. You know
Vegas,
what?
baby.
Vegas.
You had it there
I
every
would say
year.
Vegas. Another great place that I think could accommodate the breadth of
Well, New Orleans.
New
right?
Orleans.
New Orleans could definitely do it.
New Orleans because of the hotels.
And Indianapolis probably could. do.
Yeah,
could do it.
but Indy, right in the city, you got a bunch of hotels downtown, but I don't know if it,
Yeah.
maybe San Antonio.
Ooh, I like that.
We were talking about 100,000 people probably coming in.
Yes, about
That's why
that
it's
100,000.
Vegas, man.
Potentially.
No, Vegas makes. I mean,
It gives you
Vegas
something
makes
to
the
do.
most.
Your hotels are there. It's
Every
walkable.
championship should just
I
be
mean,
in
that's
Vegas
what
after
we
the
said
Super
that
Bowl.
after the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah,
just have them all.
just have them all.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
There's no other team.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.